Hey everyone, I thought I'd just shoot a quick video to kind of update everyone on where I'm at on the railroad. I haven't had a lot of time to work on the railroad in the last few months. Life and a couple of health problems and some other things have kept me away from it a little bit. But I have had some time since the 1st of January to do some work on the railroad. So I thought I'd just put together a quick video. I apologize that this isn't what I would normally do with the talking head intro and all of that, but I just wanted to get something out quick so you could see where I'm at. I guess we'll start over here in staging. I've extended this upper staging track up here. It used to stop right about here, and I've extended it just a little bit by bringing it out at an angle away from the wall. And it gave me just enough room to fit this passenger train up here with the 844 on the front. So not a huge change. It took me about an hour or so, maybe a couple hours to cut the foam out, glue new foam in, and relay the track. But it gives me just a little bit more room up there. And then we'll move over here to where the Lars Farm is. I've done some more scenery work over here. I got most of the ground covered down, and I'm fairly happy with that. My amazing wife gave me a static grass applicator for Christmas, and so I've been playing with static grass in here in this pasture for the cows. This is 3D printed fence that I printed on my printer. I'm pretty happy with how it came out, considering it's N scale fence. Got some road work done here. I use styrene plastic for my roads. I think you've seen a video of that, or I've at least uploaded a video of that before. So I got some roads done here. I need to touch up some paint. I got some glue on it in some places when I was doing the static grass and that sort of thing. So this side, except for ballast on the track, is about done with scenery. So just working along there. I've been playing around with making my own photo backdrops. This is not permanent, it's just kind of taped up there. I just used Google Street View, went out to an area close to where I live that I knew would be open farmland, grabbed a screenshot, and then just edited it in Photoshop and flipped it and mirrored it. If you look real closely right here, you can see this is where I mirrored it and reversed it so it can repeat. I'm not unhappy with it, but it could use some work, but we'll see how that goes. Okay, here in downtown Hill Valley, about the only thing I've done here, someone whose username I suddenly forget, I'll put it in the comments of this video, has uploaded all of the buildings from downtown Hill Valley, from Back to the Future, on Thingiverse for free download for 3D printing. So I've downloaded a bunch of the buildings and been printing them. I have to compress this to make it fit, so I had to skip a few buildings that where it would be in there normally in Hill Valley, but at least gives me a little bit of the Hill Valley skyline, I guess you could say. So I have those 4. Sorry, I can't count this morning. And back here is Holtz's Diner next to the town theater. Of course, they need paint and everything, but they're coming along. Over here in the neighborhood, my new daughter-in-law, yay, got me some vehicles and figures for Christmas to put on the layout. So she got me this milk truck with the milkman from, I think it's Woodland Scenics. So I've got him there delivering the milk on the Saturday morning. I just love adding little figures and details like that. It really brings the layout to life. So I've got a couple of others of those I'll show you as we go along. Now over here, I've made some changes. Rogers Brothers Potato Processing used to be here. They've moved to the other side of the layout. I'll show you that. It was just too big of a structure to be close to this mountain. I wanted to fix this slope a little bit. It was really too straight. It looked like a volcano sticking right up out of the bench work. So I wanted to add some slope to that. So I needed to pull that building out. So I put a smaller building here, just put this little freight depot here, which makes some sense near the passenger depot. And then in addition to swapping out the buildings here, I actually reversed this turnout. It used to come up in here for a helper, but I'm not really running helper operations, and it was really close to the mountain again for scenery work. So I bought a right-hand turnout and flipped it and put it in here, and put a second spur here for a mail car or maybe a team track or something. I haven't completely decided what I'm going to do with that yet. But at least it's there, and again, all my turnouts are wired with frog juicer, so I had to reroute the frog juicer power feed line here and get that put down. Then I've done some more work here, both on the coal trestle in the coal facility. Another truck and figure that my daughter-in-law got me. Got those guys in place. I like putting the figures, I don't know if you can see it, on little clear pieces of plastic so they can move them around. They're not permanently glued in place. If I want to vacuum the layout, I can just move them and vacuum it and put them back. And so that's a little trick I use. And then got this retaining wall put in here and the tunnel portal. However, I just got one of the new Broadway big boys, and because this track is on a curve going into this tunnel portal and into the tunnel, the cab swings a little wide and just barely grazes this side of this tunnel portal. So I'm going to have to take that out. It's not glued in yet, so I'm going to have to take that out. Probably 3D print a tunnel portal that's just a little bit wider of an opening and replace it there so that the big boy doesn't bump it. Now we jump over to this side of the railroad over here in Coronet. This is where I moved Rogers Brothers to. I extended this spur. It used to end here at the feed mill. I extended it across the street here. This is a building that I modeled and 3D printed. A little bit more on that in a second. And then added Rogers. This adds some more work up here for trains to do when they come up to set out and pick up cars. And I really like it, and I think Rogers fits a little better up here than it did down there with it being so close to that mountain. This building, again, like I said, I 3D printed this. I 3D modeled this based on a structure that's here, local in town, that we actually needed for the HO scale club I'm a member of, that we actually model our area of the country in the mid-1950s, and we needed this structure, but we only needed it as kind of a flat to sit up against the wall of the room. So I just modeled the front wall and a little bit of the side walls in HO. And the beautiful thing about 3D printing is I can just enter a scale factor and scale it down to N scale and print it. There's not a lot of detail. The doors are one piece printed with the wall, but it works. So I just extended the side walls. The back wall of it is actually a duplicate of the front wall because you don't see it. It just has to be there and hold it up. And then I really cheated the roof. It's just pieces that I 3D printed to size, and then just printed out a roof pattern on my inkjet printer on my computer and glued it on there. It's just there's no texture to it at all. It's just printed pieces of sticker paper. Anyway, that's that. I've kind of finished up the work on the roads here. I went with a lighter color gray. I wasn't real happy with the dark color I had on them. I just thought it looked too dark. So I've painted them a lighter gray. I used like a country gray, and then striped the roadways. For the white stripes, I used the Woodland Scenics road striping pen, which I think works really well once you get used to it. I didn't have a yellow, so I just masked this off with some masking tape. I used some pinstriping tape that I had to mask the center, and then painted it yellow and peeled it off. And it bled a little bit and lifted a little bit in some places, but I think that's okay. It gives the road a little bit more of a worn look. So I'm pretty happy with how that turned out now. These pieces aren't glued in yet. I need to glue them in, and my grade crossings are just, again, I just printed them on paper, on cardstock, and glued them in there. I need to fix them. They look weird with the wrong angle on them. But that's all I did for those. And in addition to moving Rogers up here, I've done some more ground cover here, put down the concrete pad under the buildings, and I'm almost done with this section with scenery as well. I need to ballast this track in here, and maybe a little bit more ground cover and some weeds and maybe some static grass here and there, not too much. And I think I can call this section of the layout done as far as scenery is concerned. I don't remember if I've shown this before, so I thought I'd show these. There are a couple of places on the layout where you have to potentially uncouple from your train and run around it for some switching operations, and it's on a grade. So with those wonderful micro trains, trucks, and wheel sets, the cars will free roll and roll right back down the hill. So I use T-pins for brakes, so you can just take one and stick it in between a couple of cars and it'll hold the train in place. And so I've just printed these little holders. I 3D modeled these and printed them, and used those just to hold these on the fascia of the layout so that they're handy if you need them. And I've redesigned my fascia mount Switchlist holders. The old ones just held the cards. Now I've added this this cylindrical piece to it that will hold either my uncoupling tools or a pen or pencil will fit in there. So I've redesigned those and 3D printed a few of them, and I've still got a couple more to mount on the layout. But I'm really happy with that. I used to just hang the uncoupling tools on a hook, and it would snag on people's clothes and things like that, and I didn't like that. And so I think this is a much better solution. Well, I think that's about it for now. Again, I apologize for being away for so long. Hopefully I'll be able to continually work on the railroad in a more consistent fashion and post update videos more frequently than 9 months apart or whatever. Again, I appreciate you subscribing. If you haven't subscribed and you'd like to see updates as I post them, go ahead and hit the subscribe button. And I appreciate all of your comments and support. Take care.